You are tuned into Lady Bird Live. I am an activist and motivational speaker whose purpose is to spread the awareness of HIV. This podcast is about the education of HIV and AIDS and other STDs that people are afraid to discuss and address. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be educated. Hello, and welcome to 2023. I hope you guys had an amazing new year. Happy New Year. Yes, I am excited about this year. I have so many things that are coming for the new year. But first, I wanted to take us on a blast to the past. Let's just kind of talk about some of the things that I experienced in this past year of 2022 so that moving forward, we all know that we are going to be on the same page. The year 2022 started out with me being what I'm always being, a mom. I was dealing with a lot of issues with my youngest daughter's school, which prompted me to have parent teacher conferences. It prompted me to really pay attention to what was going on. Now, she was in a private Christian academy. She had been there since kindergarten. My oldest daughter had experienced private Christian academies from 3 years old all the way up until she graduated high school. So this was something that I was used to. Now, it was a different school, but it was still something that I had experience with. I had experience with the curriculum, with the format, and with everything that they entailed. The thing was, I didn't have any clue what the teacher was doing. It became a point where she's telling me, your daughter's going to fail second grade. She's not going to pass. She's going to be in second grade again. And I'm saying, how? You're not sending homework home. You're not telling us what to work on then with that home. We don't know when tests are due, when they're doing tests. We don't know anything. And so I had to make the decision the last quarter of the school year of 2022 to take her from this private Christian academy and put her into the world of public school. And I did that because I refuse to allow her to fail. I refuse to not advocate for her. I refuse to allow someone who is a new teacher to this school who really seemed that they didn't have it all together, knew what they were doing. I refuse to allow them to put my child in that predicament. So that is how my year started out. Really being an advocate for my child and making sure she got the best resources for her that she could get. And so transitioning to public school that first week was crazy. It was. There was crying. I was crying. She was crying. We were both crying because it's a new environment. It's a new pattern. It's new adults for her, new school for me, new everything. And so I was able to finally, after about a week and a half, get her used to it. She's making friends. She realizes that, hey, my classmates live in my apartments. So she was able to meet new friends, go outside and play with these new friends. That opened up a whole new world for her. It made her comfortable. It made her feel like, wow, you know, this was something good. My mommy did this for me. And it made me feel good as a parent because, listen, honestly, I felt like I was failing her as a parent. I felt like I was like lost. You ever been a parent and just lost, like you don't know what to do next? That's how I felt. And I had never felt that way. My oldest daughter never needed me to help her with homework. I've always been on top of the twins' appointments and school, IEP meetings, and things of that nature. But here I have this 8-year old in second grade who is learning things that I didn't learn in school. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is this core stuff? I was just completely taken aback and I was completely lost. But once I was able to get her into this new environment around these new teachers, people who cared, everything flowed. Everything just felt so perfect. And so I was able to do that. Um, and it got better and it has improved. Now here we are in the new school year and it is doing great. So yeah. Now, let's talk about this relationship because a lot of people who have been following me for at least the past 2 years have been wanting to know about this relationship. So on June the 12th, 2022, that's the day I decided to walk away. What did I walk away from? I walked away from a narcissistic uh I don't know what else to name it. Like that's the biggest thing I can think to call it. Just straight up narcissism. Now, did I see this at any point throughout these 2 years of this relationship? Absolutely not. I had no clue that this man was hiding his narcissistic ways. Let me tell you. It is very true what they say when they say you never really, number one, you never really fully learn the person that you're with the rest of your life. But you are never going to know most of the stuff about a person in those first 2 years. You're not. You're just not. And so in these first 2 years, the first year, let me tell you, the first year was amazing. We, um, I was making frequent trips to Oakland, California, where he was living. We were talking every day, video chat, whatever, sending flowers. I'm sending flowers, gifts, birthdays, whatever it was. We were showing affection. We were showing our love for each other, like to the point where once it became a thing of, oh, we've been together over a year now. What are we looking at for the future? And people who know me, they know um, I plan. I plan. A lot of people don't like to plan, but I have to plan. I have children. I have kids with special needs. I have elementary age child. So I have to literally plan. If I'm going to relocate, I can't just up and relocate. I have to check and see if the location is going to accommodate special needs, if the schools are good, if the neighborhoods are great, what's the crime? Like I have to look at all this stuff, honestly. And so just upping and moving and not doing any research and things, that was like hard for me. And I told him, I'm like, listen, I can't just up and move. Like, you don't want to come to Florida. I don't want to go to California. Let's find a middle point. So we actually had discussed, well, why don't we come together and go to maybe Texas, somewhere in Texas. And so in Texas, I, had a couple cities I like, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, just a couple places I kind of knew right offhand that would be good places in Texas for the most part. And I told him, I said, well, we need to really sit down and talk about this. His first thing was, well, I don't want to plan it. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. And I'm like, well, we got to do something. Well, we need to just go with the flow. I can't just go with the flow with 4 kids. Granted, my oldest is an adult, but still, I just can't just go with the flow. I have to think about me and these kids, not just me. And so, I noticed the thing of communicating happened less. He was taking classes in college at the time, and I wanted him to really focus on that. So I kind of really didn't bother him too much. I let him do his schoolwork. Now, he started having issues with school. It had nothing to do with me. He was not paying attention to deadline dates and times. He was slacking off, doing assignments wrong, just really not paying attention, read directions, and really grasping what he was doing. And so that got thrown on me to the point where he say, you know, oh well, we need to come up with a schedule. And I'm sitting here like, well, dang, did I just put myself into being someone's employee instead of their, woman? I gotta set up a time to talk, a time to dang, like what? Hello? It was weird. It was just like, well, we got to come up with a time where we can talk. I'm not a time kind of talk kind of person. I'm one of those people like if I want to call you and say, baby, I love you, I want to be able to call you. If I want to text you, if I want to video chat with you, if I'm right there and I could come to you, I want to be able to say, hey, I'm coming over. I want to spend time, whatever it is. Like I don't want to have to, of course things do have to be planned, but I don't want to have to plan like to be able to just tell you I love you, stuff like that. Like that was so weird to me. And so here it is going into June. Again, I'm noticing these things. And June the 11th, I'm just like, okay, hadn't heard from him. Let me send him a message. I called, no response. I text, no response. And then finally, he sends me this message that kind of just threw me off. And I'm paraphrasing it, but long story short, he's just basically telling me he wasted his time. He's telling me how I caused him to gain weight. He's telling me how I caused him to smoke more marijuana than he typically smoked, which means he was buying more than he typically bought. He's telling me how I've only been thinking about myself and not thinking about him, which of course that wasn't true because I mean, if anybody knows me, I'm always thinking about others before my freaking self. Literally. Um, he's just basically telling me how he feels like he wasted 2 years and I was, it was like I was trying to like use force. That's the thing. One thing about me, and people know this, I never use force. I like for things to go with the flow because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. When you use force and you push things to happen, that is when they turn the worst. That is when things unfold and when things don't go the way you want it. So using force is not something that I do ever. And this was something he and I literally just discussed our first time ever having a conversation. Because when we first met, we didn't put labels on our relationship or whatever it was we had. We didn't label as, oh, we're girlfriend and boyfriend. We just went with the flow of however our feelings opened up to. And so it was just like, okay, this is weird. So he sent me this message. He was like, I think I'm just going to take some time to be alone with me and my thoughts. And I'm like, oh, okay. You and your thoughts, So I didn't text him back. I just said, you know what? I'm walking away. So I'm not even going to give him, like, since he wants to take all the time he wants to be with him and his thoughts, I'm going to let you be with you and your thoughts without me. So I blocked him on social media. I blocked him from being able to contact my phone. And I walked away. That following month, so mid-June to mid-July was probably one of the worst months that I've ever experienced in my 39, almost 40 years of life. I literally was sick. I was sick because number one, I had to detox myself from this person. I wanted to pick up the phone for 2 weeks and call and just like reverse whatever was done. I wanted to take it back. But deep down, I knew I couldn't. I knew that I had to keep going forward. I knew I had to not make that backwards track. I had to just keep going. And that's what I did. I fought through it. I fought through it, got to the end of that month, and I said, whoo. I did that whole exhale, that I just took it all in and released it. And once I did that, that is when I realized, you know, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. And then I realized, shit, this was a freaking narcissist. Y'all, this was a narcissist. How did I find out about a narcissist? Let me tell you, when you get on a Clubhouse app and you be in these rooms with these people, you find out easy what these words are. I'm like, wait a minute, narcissist? Then I'm hearing all these different terms, like, wait a minute. Oh, he like that. Yep, that sound like him. You mean for 2 years I was dealing with a narcissist? Oh man, like that's what my thought was. I'm like, oh shoot. But I got through it, I fought through it, and I to this day I have not picked up the phone, I haven't called him. Of course, yes, I think about is he okay, and things of that nature. Is he thinking about me? I have had those thoughts, but I have the willpower to keep moving and to keep going forward and to just know that, hey, I can't go back. I refuse to go back. And I'm not doing that. And so moving forward as me. And that's what I did. I moved forward. And here we are. Now we're in 2023 and I don't even know if I want to have a relationship. Honestly, there are actually people who, have seriously let me know that they would love to be in a relationship with me or date me or things like that. And I am just terrified. I'm not even going to say I'm terrified of having a relationship. I'm just terrified of the failures of relationships. Like, who wants to learn someone, go through the motions of learning someone, having feelings for someone, and it ending up being a situation of what I just went through? Like, nobody wants to do that. I'm like, all this talk about soulmates and all this talk about, you know, the right one. Like, how do we really ever know when we found that soulmate or when we found the right one? Like, can I get a Batman signal or something? Like, I need signs. Like, I need signs. Look, I need something to just say, look, girl, this it right here. Because it feels like every time that I thought someone was the one, they turned out to be not the one. And I'm just afraid. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to put myself through the emotional drain. I'm an empath. So I get emotional very easily and I take on others' emotions very easily. And so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see moving forward if I decide that I want to take that chance again. I'll be 40 this year. Who knows? Maybe I'll be 40 and meet somebody I can spend the rest of these last days with. Let's see. Spend the rest of my life with. I I know I'm not gonna ever have a 50th wedding anniversary, but who cares? If I could get to the first wedding anniversary, I will be great. No, wait, I take that back. I have gotten to a 1 year with my second marriage, but can I get past that? Like, can I get past that? That's sad. My longest relationship was probably about 2 to 3 years. I don't know. I want to get past that. I want to hit a milestone or something. All right, let's keep it going. So, what else happened in 2022? Hmm. Guess what this old girl did? I went back to school. I did. I said, you know what? It's time. I have been talking about going back to school because I want to become an infectious disease physician. That is my goal. That is my passion. Talking about HIV and AIDS, STDs, and all things in that category are my passion. I eat, breathe, sleep, and I'm like a walking informational guide to this stuff. And so I want to take the knowledge that I'm acquiring and I want to do this. I want to be a doctor. I want to be Dr. Renee Yvette Burgess. I ain't changing my last name. So if I do get married, I don't care, sir. I'm still going to be Dr. Burgess. Okay? Not changing my name. I was born with this name and I'm just going to leave the earth with this name at this point. Yeah. And so, um, I started back school this past fall semester, and I did great. I passed my classes, and I'm getting ready to go into the spring semester. So this is my journey. Right now, I am doing Health Navigator, which is going to bring my GPA up. It's going to allow me to use the skills I already currently have with helping people with the resources when it comes to health insurance and things of that nature, as well as it's going to help me to bridge over with the AS degree and kickstart and jump back into my last year of junior year, going into my senior year of getting my bachelor's. So it's all gonna work itself out. It's all gonna unfold how it should be. So coming soon, Dr. Renee Y. Burgess. Yes. Now let's talk about what I released at the end of 2022, because of course we cannot go into this new year without talking about what I left in last year. Now we're only going to talk about it this one time, so I don't want you to get all excited and thinking we're bringing this into the new year with us, because we are not. So the end of 2022, a lot of emotions came to me in regards to the twins' dad, which is my first husband, the one who knowingly infected me with the HIV virus, and his mama. Okay? I got full with so much emotions because I just had this continuous thought over the years of, why don't they want to have anything to do with the kids? You know, they do stuff for this kid that he had while I was married to him. It's just so many thoughts and things that were playing in my head. I had to go in August to see him for the first time in 14 years because I had to go to court for child support. Had not seen him in what, 15 years, not 14, 15, 15 years. First time I had ever laid eyes on him since I saw him in the courthouse when he was getting sentenced for knowingly infecting me with the HIV virus. And that moment, I think, is what really brought those emotions back around to me. And yeah, I went on a rant. I was angry. I was pissed because it's like, listen, not only did your mother know you were HIV positive, you knew you were HIV positive. Neither one of you chose to tell me. Both of you carried on with life around me like this was not happening or taking place, and like I did not need to know. And I ended up contracting the virus, which also meant that, hey, now I'm going to be dealing with this for the rest of my life. It really, really pissed me off to think that these people did all of this to me, and even through all of that, I still tried to be the bigger person when I didn't even have to try to be the bigger person. I didn't do anything wrong to either one of them. I attempted to reach out to his mother on multiple occasions to try to get her to be in Michelle and Micah's life. And guess what? No response. I've seen her in public. I've seen her at funerals. I've seen her, wherever. I don't know. But I'm just saying, it's not like she doesn't know how to find me or she has not seen me. When I have seen her, you think I'm going to approach her with that? No. I reached out to you. You did not want to respond when it came to the kids. So guess what? I'm that person. At least I did it that one time or maybe two times. I'm not going to keep doing it. And then, when it comes to him, he, over the years, we would have conversations. We did have like a 2-hour conversation one time because he did want to ask me questions. I allowed him to ask me questions. He allowed me to ask him questions. And we got answers from each other of things that we didn't have clarity on. But when it became a thing of him making sexual advances to me and him saying certain things to me that I felt was very inappropriate, I had to cut the communication. I had to make it honestly where it was just, you know what, if it's not about the kids, don't ask. So clearly, because I have not communicated with him in all of these years, he doesn't care about the kids. He has not texted me to ask me how they were doing. He's not said anything, nothing, no nothing, you know. And so it is what it is. But I had to get to a point, and that point came the end of 2022, that I had to just say, you know what, Renee? You have to let this go. You have to move forward. Yes, tell your story and share what you experience, but you have to take those emotions of what they aren't doing that are causing you this hurt, this pain, and you have to let it go. Because truly, I shouldn't be the one in pain. They should be the one that is in pain because they're missing out on some amazing kids. Mike and Michelle are amazing. they're the ones who are missing out. My babies aren't missing out. They're missing out. So I had to take that thought process and I had to remember that. And that is what I'm taking with me moving forward, knowing that I did everything as their mother, as their guardian, as the one who is going to protect them until the day I can no longer do anything for them. I had to realize that. So that is what I chose to leave in 2022. And it's going to stay there. Now let's talk about 2023. Here we are in the new year. Yes, happy freaking new year. I'm going to be 40 this year, but I got a lot of things moving forward in this year that I want you to join me in doing. So make sure you are following me on Facebook at Ladybird, because every Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be doing a lunch and learn. I also love music, so make sure you come and join me on AMP app, AMP app. Find it in your what is it? What is the thing? Come on, help me out. What is it? Your your little store thingy. Shoot, you know what I'm talking about. I'm old. Forgive me. In the App Store. Thank you. Um, yeah, make sure you go into the App Store. You search AMP app. It is going to have this beautiful little yellow A for the logo. I have a radio show. I have Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays where I play melodic Mondays, Tuesday teens, throwback Thursday, and freestyle Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on there as at Ladybird. And then every Friday, of course, this podcast, the ones you're listening to right now, is going to be released every Friday. Every Friday is going to have a new release podcast just for you. And then, let's see, I love to have fun on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Ladybird Official. Make sure you're following me on YouTube at Ladybird. The Wisdom app, which is a nice, amazing app to download. Hear different people share their wisdom and expertise of different topics. I'm on there as Ladybird. So yeah, I'm all over social media. I'm on Clubhouse if you want to get a little messy on there, you know, you want to have a little non-educational fun. Find me on Clubhouse at Ladybird. Yes. Again, as always, I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to my podcast. And until next time. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget, you can visit my website, ladybird.official.com, for more information or to schedule a one-on-one session. Until next time, bye.